welcome to the can opener. It's Sunday night.
Sunday night.
It's me, 40 back at it again. Pretty much the OG crew at this point.
Exactly. You already know it is.
Until you move back to Ottawa.
We don't know the plans yet, but that's the plans.
Cheers, sir.
To more life. Actually, hold on. More life. Health.
To Allah.
You're crazy. Just everything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That we work for.
You're right. Respected.
I feel like
everything you work for and everything you don't work for. Because I think it's important. Some people have one second, let me throw off this fan.
Oh yeah, that fan is making a lot of noise out here. A lot of noise.
Sometimes it's hard for people to take things. You know what I mean? That are given to you. But if you look at everybody who's in a positive place in life, they've been given things. You just got to accept them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get things and you got to accept them.
If life gives you an apple, make apple juice.
Yeah. That's exactly what you're saying.
I'll make some mean apple juice.
My dad used to make me fresh orange juice back in the day. Like on a Sunday morning.
Really?
Yeah, like with like blueberry pancakes, and it was good.
Oh, that sounds so cool.
Yeah, it was delicious, bro. Hand squeezed orange juice.
But the thing is, the only thing what do you call it? The little pulp things in the orange? The pulp. You like that?
He would strain it for me because I was a little bitch.
Oh, okay. That's the real MVP.
Yeah, exactly.
He's the real MVP.
Exactly. So as I grew older, I started appreciating the pulp. But what were you saying about the Weekenders?
Yeah.
You were talking about shows. What's your top three? First of all, top three shows growing up.
Ooh.
Cartoons.
This is going to be so hard.
I guess it doesn't have to be cartoons.
Proud Family. Smart Guy.
What's Smart Guy?
He's a smart guy. Dun, dun, dun. You don't remember that dude?
No.
Smart guy. So basically, it's a story about this kid that he's in grade 5. He's 12, but he's in high school because he's so smart, and he's in the same class as
Jimmy
his brother.
Neutron. Smart Guy. Okay. No, I've never heard of this kid.
It's hilarious. You should watch some episodes. Super dope.
Okay.
And then, lastly but not least, Fillmore. Yeah. Fillmore, I'm on it.
Fillmore, I'm on it.
Yeah. So
I don't know who the fuck this is either. I've heard of this before. How about you get a little diversity in your lineup here, 40?
What do you mean diversity?
Well, because it's all black characters, dude. What about a Hispanic man, or what about like an Asian character?
Bro, I just told you that I used to watch Laguna Beach. The Hills. I used to watch all One Tree Hill, all bunch of white people show.
I remember watching this. I watched this quite a bit, the Fillmore, and I remember having his van.
What?
Like a toy van, the Volkswagen. Like that. Here, see it? Oh no, never mind. I'm tripping, bro.
Yeah. He never had a van. This guy was in middle school, bro.
Yeah, no, I'm tripping.
It's the moose head beard that's getting to you, huh?
But he was like, it is. But he was like, what's that character from The Matrix?
Neo.
He looks like a mini Neo.
And there was who was the other guy there? Morpheus.
This was good. This was a good show. I remember watching episodes of this.
Fillmore?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And they busted crimes, didn't they?
Exactly.
Yes.
So yeah, it made me want to become a cop actually when I was.
Dude, I remember this. I'm flashing back right now. Oh, that's so strange.
You know what I mean? He was catching crimes with his
Oh, I remember they came out of the curtain one time and you're busted.
You're busted. Hey, stop! Dude. And they run. They always run. You know what I mean?
I watched SpongeBob a lot. I watched Fairly Odd Parents.
I like Fairly Odd Parents.
Fairly Odd Parents was classic.
It was good. It was super good.
I watched like old Spider-Man a lot, like the old Spider-Man.
Oh,
we
like
talked about this.
Yeah, the 1980s. Yeah. I didn't like that one. I like the 2000 version though.
Yeah. I'm trying to think about what
anime version.
Power Rangers I watched.
my parents didn't like me keeping Power Rangers.
I know, me neither. But I woke up in the morning. I was dedicated to it.
Yo, me too.
Straight up.
Is it crazy that we've from two different cities but had like similar?
We were at the same time on the same planet watching the same episode. I'm sure.
But we were doing the same thing. That
Cartoon Network or something.
I was sneaking in and watching Power Rangers too, because at first I watched Power Rangers for my parents, and then there was a demon that came out and got bigger. It's like, what is this? It's like, no more Power Rangers. I'm like, oh fuck. So I'll go in the morning at 7 o'clock.
Wait, a demon?
Yeah, you remember the demons? They always get bigger.
No.
The evil people at Power Rangers.
Oh, true.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I honestly, I get mad at my dad for not being able to remember shit when he grew up. But like, I'm having a tough time remembering all of these shows.
Wow.
I know. I'm looking at myself pretty hypocritically right now, to be honest with you. What were you saying though?
No,
the demons.
Yeah. So I was I wake up in the morning and just watch the Power Rangers. Like it was crazy because I would wake up in the morning and not like feel good about going to school, but watching Power Rangers. So I watch Power Rangers and I'm just watching it. My mom comes down, I close it down, and I go get ready.
See, I watched Power Rangers before I cared about going to school or not. You know, I cared about going to school like later in life, when I was like grade 8. You know what I mean? Those were the days where I was like, oh, I don't want to go to school.
Yeah.
Every other day, it seems from my memory, I wish I remembered emotions I had. But I don't really right now. Maybe if I in another state of mind, I might be able to reoccupy that part of my brain with some memories of emotions.
My friends always tell me that I live in the past, so I always remember everything. Like I remember like all these slightest things in my life, and it's just like the reason why I remember it because it was like the best time of my. It wasn't the best time of my life, but it was like amazing memories. The good and the bad.
We're geared for nostalgia.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For some reason, like, why do you think we have these memories of, like, that good feeling of, like, remembering something
or the first time
that
you kiss
felt
a girl?
Good? Yeah, like, that stuff, that's, I was listening to a podcast, and they said that those moments that you can recall, like kissing a girl or like kissing someone, those moments you're in that moment. That's why you can recall it, because that's what you remember.
Yeah.
You in that moment of kissing that other person are not trying to remember something or trying to look forward to something. You're in that moment.
You're enjoying the moment right
exactly.
there.
So it's like a very you're in a flow state, you would call it.
Who was the first girl you kissed? Do you remember it?
I don't remember.
I remember by heart. I remember her name, everything.
I don't remember.
Yeah, it was behind a trash can or like a garbage place.
Mm-hmm.
So this is gonna sound so bad, but it was at
what the fuck? How old were you?
I was 13. 12, 13.
What are you about to say right now?
So it was at a church group retreat, youth group retreat.
Find a couple dirty needles.
So one of the girls used to bring her other friend there.
Wait, what?
So it was a youth group retreat at a church.
Are you having threesomes?
No. So this girl used to bring her other friend there, and her other friend there was, you could tell she would go to places and she would just look for guys.
Mm-hmm.
She was
at 13.
She was 15 or 16.
Okay.
But I didn't
tell
her.
She was a predator.
I didn't tell her how old I was. To be fair, I didn't tell her how old I was. I told her I was like 16. So I was a little taller, and I told her I was 16,
Respect.
Right? And she believed me, right?
Yeah.
So I remember that time.
If I told someone I was 16 when I was 13, they would have been like, "You're 8."
No, and the reason why I did that, because I always, like, when I was a kid, I always tried to make myself look older. You know, so I always used to wear bigger clothes than
Yeah, me too, but it didn't work.
Really?
No, I was a scrawny little kid. At 13, I was scrawny little kid. I didn't start growing until like 14. But anyways, go on with your story.
Well, yeah. So I feel like So the one time we went out to one of the youth group leaders' houses, right?
Okay.
And I was in the backyard making jokes, you know what I mean? And I was always
at 13. Like, what kind of jokes were you making, bro?
You know, when you're young, you're always dissing.
Ham sandwich.
You're dissing the person you think is good looking. So I will always diss her.
Oh
right?
Yeah, of course. That's what I used to do.
I used to diss her like crazy.
Class clown, throw a couple pencil shavings in their hair.
Yeah, and stuff like that.
Write a couple
I was
mean
diss her,
notes.
and she was like, "Oh my God, stop!" You know. And I'll see her, and then when her other friend turned around, she would smile at me, and I was like, in my heart, I was like, "Yo, I think she likes me." You know what I mean? So my heart's beating. I'm like, "Yo." So then we
got a little tiny 40 boner.
Yeah.
Little 13-year-old.
Yo, it was like the perfect storm.
Oh, you'd get a boner for anything at 13.
So just the fact that she was looking at me and smiling at me, like I was like, "Yo, she doesn't know."
You'd smell some pine needles and you'd get a boner.
And then I'm not gonna lie, she had a big breasts, like. And I was like,
Fordiet, I don't want to hear the semantics of this. All right, you know.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, sorry.
No, but she was so beautiful, right?
Yeah.
So I was just so attracted to her. I didn't know what to do. So then we're playing a game of what's that game? We played that. I don't know. It's like you go hide and seek, right? But then we did it in the neighborhood, right? So we ran, and then we kind of went off grid. So I went to there was a garbage place, and I went to hide, and she ran to hide behind me, and then.
What does that mean?
And
dude?
her other friend and the other guy that was
behind
with,
you.
They were looking around. They were saying, "Yo, is this other person coming?" And then she turned around and she kissed me. When nobody was looking, she kissed me, and I was like, "Yo!" And yeah, that's the story. I still remember that event till this morning.
Yeah, I remember playing spin the bottle. You know.
Oh,
we were in like a cabin in the woods, dude. Like I lived a cool childhood. We were in a cabin in the woods, and like it was like a little house off this other girl's house.
Yeah,
we were like grade 8, grade 7, and we were all playing spin the ball. And we had just kissing, just smooching, dude. Just 12-year-olds, just getting at it, dude. We were thinking we were filthy and shit. We'd like kiss each other and play hide and seek after. Just some fucking child shit. And then her dad came in with a chainsaw and scared the fuck out of us. Yeah, dude, it was Halloween.
That's for real?
Got us. Yeah, he got us, man.
Yo, that's not funny at all.
It was in the middle of the woods too. Like it was pretty dope.
Yo, that's.
Dude, I was ready to defend my life at 11, dude. I was ready to defend a murderer with a chainsaw. We set up defenses, bro. We were like, how do we defend from this? Like, how are we going to survive?
Yo, imagine you guys actually did something. You actually hurt his dad and he was just playing.
Oh, well, fuck him. You asked for it, bro. You come out here with a real-life chainsaw? Like, he came out here revving a chainsaw.
Okay, his dad's a little crazy.
Yeah, it was fucked.
Did
your parents ever talk to you about sex?
Anybody talk to me about sex?
Yeah. My parents did not say shit.
They didn't say shit to me until I was in grade 10.
What'd they say to you?
They're like, 40, I know you're old. And my dad didn't talk to me about sex until I was 19.
Yeah.
My mom just told me, 40, I know you're there. There's a lot of girls that will come and say hi to you and everything like that. And she kind of says something really weird in my language. She's like, you have to protect your wee-wee, in a sense. She kind of, and I was like, what?
You're talking about the temperature thing. You're talking about the temperature of your ball sack. Or is she telling you to protect it from evil demons?
No. She was talking about how
that live inside the vagina of women.
So she was talking about. We were talking about like winter stuff, right? And it got
okay. So she's talking about the temperature of your nuts.
No, she had to protect it, and she kind of got into it. And she's like, yeah, and she's like, because a lot of girls will come and talk to you and stuff like that, but you just gotta watch out. That's what she just told me. That's it.
You just gotta watch out.
That's what she told me.
It's very descriptive.
And say no, and then my dad didn't talk to me about it until he was 19. I was 19.
What'd he say?
He just said he was 40 when I was.
You ever busted you ever shot up any clubs, 40?
No, he told me.
Shut the fucking club up, dude.
The funny.
You ever have any scares, 40? You ever have any scares, 40?
Oh, you're gonna go there?
No, I'll ask you that later.
Well,
but what did your dad say?
He was just talking to me and he was like, you're 40 when I was your age. No, that was your age. I dated this girl, and I thought she loved me, but she only cared about my money, and she made me go crazy, and then we broke up, and she called the police on me, and she was telling me all these stuff, and I'm like,
shout out to all the guys getting the police called on them.
Oh yeah, and you were just like,
fuck you to the ones who deserve the police, but I'm so sorry for the ones who don't deserve the police.
Exactly, because first of all, they were in Congo, right? And she paid off the police. So she paid off the police, and the police put him in jail for a week.
That's deep.
He was in prison for a week because the girl paid off the police.
That's how spiteful you are. You're paying them. You pay them. It's not like you're not even just calling them and getting them arrested.
She paid them off.
Jesus.
And the worst part about it, he took her back after.
Yeah, see, you can't be doing that.
Yeah, he told me that. He was like, and then he was just like, yeah, and then I met your mom.
My homie who's listening, listen to those words right now. Heed that advice. Heed it. I don't know what movie that's from, but okay, so your dad said what? Sorry.
No, then my dad just said, honestly, Fordiet, I met your mom, and she just
fix up her.
She was just like, she never wanted anything out of me. She didn't want money or anything. She just wanted to hang out with me, and that's it. She didn't ask really any big things about. She didn't try to change me. She just wanted to hang out with me and be good friends at first. And then he just thought that was amazing.
So he didn't have a sex talk with you. He had a relationship talk with you.
True, he never had a sex talk.
Never had a sex talk. Yeah. So neither did my dad. I remember I was like 12 or like maybe 11 or 10. This is probably like right after I found internet porn, and I was like looking on my dad's computer for something, and there was like a folder that I went into, and it was like how to teach your children about sex. And it was like a 2-page like instruction of like instructions on how to teach your child about sex. And it was like, never use medical terms as slang. Don't call a penis a willy, a wang, or a wee-wee. Call it a penis. Call a vagina a vagina. It's like, what are you reading about? Like you just got.
You really?
Yeah, it was so weird.
Yo.
It was so weird. It was like, can't you just like, but then he never even told me about anything.
No.
At all.
But to be fair, what is he going to tell you? When I was 16, I smashed this girl, Evan.
Well, like, hey, dude, okay, so, like, this is a condom. This is what, this is what you do, and this is how I felt when I was in the position of becoming into the position of having sex with girls or something. But I did fine. Like, it was cool. You learn from other places. Yeah. We're lucky we have a breadth of information.
Yeah.
Because we can just like fucking Google it. But if that wasn't there, then it would be
gee, that would be crazy.
I guess it would have just been trial and error. But
trial and error.
I guess they don't have to.
Shoot up the clue.
I guess they don't have to. I think it would be good to have it. I think it just should be something that shouldn't be a boundary. I don't think sex should be. I don't think it's that. It's too guarded in our culture.
Really?
I don't know. I don't think it should be.
I think it's not guarded at all in our culture. I think it's pretty out there.
You might be right.
I think it's pretty out there. Especially me coming from another culture, I think it's definitely, I think that here it's really out there.
It's out there in terms of media, but not really between like family, I guess.
I don't know, because the way I looked at it is like, I felt
Maybe
pressure in high school.
Weird.
Yeah, I feel like I felt a pressure in high school to have sex.
Oh, of course.
You feel pressure to have, like, because all my friends, like, every time I want to go to have sex with her.
I feel like every single time I have sex, I feel pressure to do it.
Yeah, that's another kind of pressure.
That's another kind of pressure.
Well, when she says, "Oh, is it over yet? Already?" You're like, "Oh shit." Oh man.
What?
Yeah, get it when a girl says, "Is it already done?"
Oh yeah. I mean, I get it. I don't suffer, but like I get it.
Oh yeah, but I don't. I just in high school. That's why I felt the pressure. like immense pressure, and it was something I couldn't really understand why, because everybody would start talking about it more, and then people were like, how many kills do you have? And I would lie, I'm like, oh, I got 25. Really? I was like, yeah.
You said that?
Yeah.
That is hilarious.
But the girls think you're cool. I lie. Well, I'm not gonna say
Respect to you saying that you lie. I've definitely lied about sex and shit before to people, and like, of course, we all do it. We're young men.
Yeah.
We're disgusting.
If a girl said I never had it, I think I'd be like, oh, okay, it's cool, it's understanding. But then, for me, I felt pressure. Like, if I'm a guy and then I have sex, maybe she's not gonna want to talk to me anymore. So that's what I was thinking in my head.
Yeah. See, I never lied to girls about how much sex I had.
Really?
I never really lied to guys. I don't know. I've never lied about. It's never really mattered to me. The social perception of having sex, because it was all weird.
But then you're in Muskoka and I'm in Ottawa.
Yeah.
Way bigger school, way bigger people, more people, right?
But I feel like I personally, I had a girlfriend when I was 16. You know what I mean? So it's like,
what was her name?
Ashley Williams.
You always remember her.
Sweetheart. But I had a girlfriend when I was 16. And I maybe
you still talk to her?
No, I sent her a message the other day. She's like in Australia or something.
I've been trying to get that back. Huh?
No, like, she was really good, like nice person. But I don't know what the perspective would be if I didn't have that situation. You know what I mean? I don't know if my perception about the whole thing would change if I was like worried about that. If I didn't have that, how valuable do you think I would think of it as? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, if I didn't have that experience, and I was 17 and I didn't have an experience of a girlfriend and having that and understanding that life experience, what would my position would I be lying? I might be lying. You know what I mean? I might be lying about the amount of fucking sex. But you can't lie in a small town, or else like everybody knows, really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, everybody, like, there's 6 girls.
Everybody's fighting for 6 girls.
Yeah, one of them, and then everybody, like, you can't lie about anything.
Oh my gosh, that is so 2 different constructs. You see that living in a bigger city, like, you lie about everything, and you're like, yeah, I remember.
It's so weird. It's actually unfathomable how much people feel okay with lying, in my eyes. Like, people. It's even just like our entire society almost. Yeah. It's like we buy things to make us look rich when we really aren't rich. And it's like, that's a lie within itself.
Exactly.
That's you trying to perceive yourself as some way when it's really not.
I feel like it's in our insecurity.
100%.
Like, one thing I realized over the year is that I had a friend that she was a really beautiful friend. She was so beautiful. She had like 10,000 followers on Instagram. Like, Instagram girl, right? I would think she'll be the most confident person ever. But she was really insecure about herself. But you look at the pictures and guys comment, 200, 300 people commenting on her, gets 1,000 likes on her pictures, and just like so insecure. And then I realized, like, dang, man, like, we all somewhat insecure.
Yeah, but I think she is probably more insecure than the regular person.
Yeah, I kind of realized that.
She wakes up in the morning and she looks at her Instagram.
Yeah.
And she has a subconscious value based on her Instagram that she places on herself.
She needs those people to tell her you're pretty.
That's the validation. That's the validation. So she knows it's fugal, or whatever the fucking word is. For I don't know what the word is, but it's not everlasting. That's only there. It's like a high. So she entangles herself in that, and then when that goes away, what does she have? She's not reading books. She's not educating. She if she is, then she's probably less depressed. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm sure there are some girls on Instagram who are using the attention and whatever to make some revenue for a future life, and that's good for them. But if you are building your self-esteem off of the Instagram clout, then you're going to live with insecurity because that self-esteem is not real. That is based off others' validations. That's not within yourself. You found it somewhere else, but it's not a foundation.
Exactly. And one time she posted a picture and she had like 300 likes only, right? Yeah. Which was bad for her. You know what I mean? And she was just so stressing about
the day. She said she was going to hang herself?
No, but she was just like stressing. And it was weird to me because I'm like, it's not that deep, you know? Like, yeah, 10,000 followers. Like, I didn't kind of quite understand there because maybe I was too myself ignorant at the same time and I couldn't understand what was really going on. But I'm like, you have 10,000 followers. What do you care if you only have 300 likes? But it was just like people that you don't even know. That's the weird thing. People you don't even know, but you crave their attention. You need their attention for people that you don't even know. So that was, when I think about that, was the weirdest. That's one thing I wish I would have asked her that question.
Because we place value on it. We have a value on it. That value is like attention. But it's like, do we just care? Are we going to just care about getting attention for attention's sake? Or do we want to get attention for the right intentions? You know what I mean?
Preach, brother.
So, but if you get attention for the right intentions, then you don't rely on that for your self-worth.
Exactly.
Your intentions are somewhere else. Your intentions are for something bigger than yourself. But when you have the Instagram followers and it has your name on it, that's only you. That's you. There is nothing bigger than you happening there. And you realize that you are really nothing.
Exactly. In the grander scheme of things.
You are really nothing. So if you don't attach yourself to something bigger than yourself, you're going to have a problem. You're going to have a problem with depression. You're going to have a problem with anxiety. You're going to have
I don't think
self-worth issues.
We don't realize that we, the people with social media, we can literally change the world. We can actually change the world with social media.
Well, we are.
But imagine some of the great icons, heroes icons, like say like Tupac had social media.
They probably would have fucked everything up. Tupac would have said some outrageous shit. He would have dropped all of his sponsors. He would have got dropped from his record label. He would have lost all his money. It probably would have been way more fucked up. Honestly, they were way more reckless. I would say that it probably would have fucked things up if they didn't know how to use it. Tupac was ridiculously outrageous.
No, the stuff that he said was ridiculously countercultural.
And think about what people are losing their jobs for now.
I know. Oh yeah, I'm saying back
kids,
in the
people who I do this podcast with, regular, ordinary students, kids, are scared to say stuff on a podcast that gets 100 views because of a future job opportunity that they might lose.
I know.
Think about what we're not, quote unquote, allowed to say. Like he would have. I think it would have been.
Yo, isn't that like we are stifling our own freedoms?
100% sad.
It's really sad because I had a like.
Why do you want to work for a job that doesn't want you to be yourself?
Exactly.
Like, why do you want to do that? Why do you put yourself in that position? Ask yourself that. Because I feel like a lot of times it'll come back with, I'm scared. I'm scared there won't be another opportunity. And it's like, that's not real.
Where's that scared coming from?
We just grew up with it. It's the fear of not having security. And we get a security from getting a job and getting... And
this is what society makes you think. I feel like growing up at school, they make you think that getting a good job is security and everything is good in life. But then when you kind of grow up, you realize, I can have a good job, but my life might still be in shambles. Mm-hmm. That doesn't define you how properly you're going to live your life, how good your life is going to be. Mm-hmm. So there's things, and this is what we're kind of talked about, there's things out there that are worth more than just monetary gains. And like what you said, why would you want to work for a person that doesn't even want to let you be creative or doesn't even let you express yourself?
Yeah, why are you gonna choose to let someone hold something over your head? Like you're a human being. You're a man. You're a woman. Like what makes them? Why do you value their opinion over yours? Why are we gonna let ourselves trapped in that box?
Because they make more money than you.
That's it. We look at them throughout the hierarchy. How and it's almost, but it's just like why women want to sleep with men with power. You know what I mean? It's just like why.
I had a girl once tell me, like, listen, I only date people with certain statutes and certain like who have the best clothes, who have the most money, the best cars, and it kind of irked me at first, but then I actually felt bad for her.
Well, yeah, you would.
Yeah, because I'm like, you're so.
Because it sounds like she comes from a place where she never had any of that stuff, and she just longs for it. And then when you get that stuff, you realize that that's not what you were longing for. Exactly. You thought you were longing for it, but it was really something else. Well, and that's every time you make a mistake. Every time we make a mistake in life, we have that exact same story that goes on. We're like, oh, I didn't actually want that. I wanted something else.
Yeah.
Every time you make a mistake, watch that be the story that goes on within your head.
Yeah, exactly. They always say the same thing. Like I remember one of my favorite basketball players, Demar DeRozan. He had like a $28 million contract a year, and he said something really important. He said, "I wish everybody was rich because they would realize that money ain't shit." He was basically saying, I know a lot of my friends that are in the NBA making a lot of money and are still depressed as fuck." That's what he was basically saying. He's saying, like, you guys don't understand that it doesn't solve the issue. And he's like, I wish everybody could have that feeling to just understand that it literally doesn't fill the issue, that people still struggle with that. And
it's like not even everyone wants to be rich, but like people are even scared that they won't be even able to be mediocre.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like people are scared that they won't be able to make $60,000 a year, like because they say something, because like a real opinion of theirs comes out, because they believe a certain like thing. Like it's
and I will ask those people, are you really living freely? Are you really free? Because you're not.
You turn off the cognition. You turn off the cognition at a certain point. You just choose not to. You choose not to involve yourself. And you just back out.
But how do you think we can change that? Or can we even change that?
I don't know. Shit's got to get real, right? Every single time I have a bad spot in my life, or like my homie just called me about his crazy fucking incident with his girlfriend, and like just crazy shit. And every single time the repeated narrative is like, I don't even know I'm there until something crazy happens, until that traumatic, until I'm in a cell, until that moment happens. We don't even know we're in that position. We don't even know that we're there in our fucking heads. So it's like, I don't know what it'll take. Will it take a traumatic incident for people to? I think it might, because we live in an era where we have people with very wealthy parents, and we have children who have credit cards from their wealthy parents who are spoiled, who are spoiled, and it's hard to understand not being spoiled when you've been spoiled your whole life.
Exactly.
And I'm not saying every person is like that, but that is way more of an issue than it was in 1942 when a fucking world war was going on, when just a generation ago. So it's like, we need to understand that that's happening. And I don't know if we do. Unless something happens.
And I had this funny thing is, like, I had a similar conversation with one of these girls that I know. It's kind of like yours, but she's in an abusive relationship where her boyfriend beats her up, right? And I'm like, why do you stay with him? Well, he's good looking. I'm like, he beats the shit out of you. He's like, he's good looking. I'm like, and the thing is, she doesn't.
Wait, I'm appalled right now. Is this seriously?
Yeah, it's happening.
Did you dig deeper?
Yeah, like I started asking her questions. The thing is, I talked to her and I said, go get help. But then she's like, no, I just want him. All my friends tell me how good looking he is, so I want to stay with him. I'm like, you're staying with somebody.
Sorry, but this girl sounds like I don't know what's gonna help her.
I don't know what's gonna happen.
She sounds retarded. She sounds retarded. And she sounds like she has a very low IQ.
But she goes. The front thing is she goes to the University of Toronto.
It's embarrassing.
And she's extreme. She got mad scholarships. She has amazing grades, but she's just life dumb. And I see. And to be fair, I see a lot of that.
I'm appalled right now. You can't through this mic. You can't see how fucking wide my eyes are open right now.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Like it got me mad at a point, and I'm like, what are you doing? And it's like. It's not the worst part about it. It's not the first time I encounter a situation like this. I encountered that like 5 times in my life.
I have sympathy for someone who's like, I'm getting abused and I have, just these issues of being afraid and I'm locked in with fear.
Or having my kid and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All these
dude?
All these kind of things, they're probably afraid of that, right? But her, the worst part about it, I'm like, just leave. But she's like, who else am I going to meet? I'm like, there's a whole world out there. There's 7 billion people out there. And she's like, no, he can be a good guy. I'm just looking at her, and I don't know. It's just
I don't know.
I just cut her off.
She shouldn't even be in that conversation. Yeah.
I cut her off.
I'm in a different level.
And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It sounds bad, but I cut her off because it was just becoming. It was stupidness. It was
so tired of trying to see from out the red in my eyes. No better version of me I could pretend to be tonight. So deep in the swill with the most familiar of swine, for reasons wretched and divine. She blows out of nowhere, Roman candle of the wind, laughing away through my feeble disguise. No other version of me I would rather be tonight. Oh, the Lord, she found me just in time, with my mid-youth crisis so said and done. Lord, I need to be felt, 'cause Lord, I never felt young. She's gonna save me, call me baby, run her hands to my hair, and she'll call me crazy, soothe me daily, better yet she wouldn't care. And we're still Alexis and detectives right around picking up clues, and we'll lay my children, Jackie and Wilson, raise them on rhythm and blues. To find a place we could escape sometime. Me and my ISIS growing black irises in the sunshine. Every version of me dead and buried in the yard outside. Sit back and watch the world go by. Happy to lie back and watch it burn and rust. We tried the world good, it wasn't meant for us. Gonna save me, call me baby, run her hands to my hair, and she'll know me crazy, soothe me daily, better yet she wouldn't care. And we're still Alexis and detectives right around picking up clues, and we'll lay my children, Jackie and Wilson, raise them on rhythm and blues. Cigarette, she's already left. I start digging up the yard for what's left of me and I'll be there for whatever postal's coming next. She's gonna save me, call me baby, run her hands to my hair, and she'll know me crazy, soothe me daily, better yet she will. rhythm and blues.
We're back now. Sorry, we got interrupted. Oh, Jesus Christ. What was it like having parents that were together growing up?
Honestly,
Did you have parents? Did you have friends with parents, with divorced parents?
a lot. A lot. Like, I feel like half of my friends' parents were divorced or single parents.
It's probably pretty close to the number.
Yeah, and I have a weird way to say it, but I feel advantageous.
Advantageous.
Yeah.
Why?
I just feel like in every way, it's more
Like it helps.
It helps, yeah. Because
Yeah.
the thing is like there's some things like, for example, my friend, like growing up, she's living with his mom, and like it's hard for a mom to have puberty conversation with a guy. It's hard to understand, and it's hard for her to sometimes connect with her. Moms can connect with their guys, but sometimes you need to have like a guy to kind of explain to you.
Lift up the mic a little bit.
You need a guy to kind of explain it, to kind of have that conversation a little bit with you, right? And that's what he told me. You know what I mean? So it was becoming.
My mom told me that. My mom was like, it was tough when I was like 14, 15, 16 because my parents were split up. But she's like, I just didn't know. I didn't know what to do. I wasn't a boy, you know. I didn't grow up as a young man, you know what I mean. It was like I didn't know. I don't know what's going on inside your head. It's not like as a young man, if you've ever experienced being a young man, and I'm sure it's the same as being a young woman, you don't say a lot of things that you feel because you aren't sure about them. They're your insecurities at that age. It's like you're insecure about how you feel. And you don't want to seem weak.
And it's especially like dealing with conflicts. I feel like biggest issue that she was having issues dealing with my friend was conflicts. Imagine you go to school and some guys try to pick on you and you start fighting, right? Most of the time, guys fight more than girls, right? And these kind of issues, she just didn't know how to deal with it, right? Because she didn't know how to feel. She was like, why don't you just walk away? But sometimes, as a guy, it's like, you know, you feel sometimes pressure that you have to be alpha. There is that pressure that you have to be alpha in certain situations.
Well, because that's a hierarchy. We just talked about, you know, it's real that women are attracted to power. I'm not saying all women are, but it's a natural thread. And I think it's just biology because it's just that's where the hierarchy is. And we exist in a hierarchy. But we do want power. And if we don't feel like we have power, especially at that age, we feel and we don't understand how to cope with that. Like we go to places where we feel like we can be comfortable, and sometimes those places in my life, those places brought to me a place where I was doing drugs. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that was all negative. I'm not saying it was all positive, but it brought me there because I didn't want to be at home. My mom didn't understand how to do it. I didn't want to be at home. I didn't want to be at my father's house either. So I found myself just going out. And what happens when you're that age? You start doing drugs. You start, you know, numbing the pain almost.
I would go party, go out with my friends and party a lot, and just be at my friend's house, where, in a sense, I kind of, and this was a time where my dad was traveling a lot. My dad had to work, so he had to travel, right? So sometimes it was just like, I don't have that male figure in my house, and my brother's going through his crisis and everything. So it's just like, I would go to see my friends, be around him and his older brothers, just to have that like kind of like understanding, you know, like, what do you do when you see a girl? Like, how do you talk to her? If she like her, like just little things. How do I talk to her? You know, like I don't know how to talk to a girl.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and I wanted
things
answers
that are passed down.
They're passed down. I wanted answers for those. And that's what I was seeking in the time as a young male. And I think that's real. And I think that ultimately having my dad still being there, like even if I'm staying up too late, just having that male presence to also all the time made me, and seeing how he was treating my mom also, like kind of made me kind of, okay, like this is how you're supposed to do it, right? So it just gave, the word, maybe it wasn't the right word, advantages, but I feel like I definitely had like a little bit more stability. Yeah. and that's it. You know, and I'm not saying that you grew up a single parent's home that this is terrible. No, I'm not saying all that, but I'm just trying to see from what I viewed, it was more stability in the household. Suppose some of my friends, it was like they were wrestling with that, and they still wrestle with it today. I still as young 24-year-old men that didn't grow up with a father, or father not being in their life, they still wrestle with that.
Well, because they have single moms that are living in apartments somewhere, you know what I mean? And you think about hoping they're happy. And there's like real thoughts that go along, and there's so many people that live like that. It's not bad. It's everyone's alive.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like God bless everyone's alive. Yeah, I just growing. I had divorced parents, and they divorced when I was like grade 1, I think. Grade 2. I remember the drive home. I remember the drive to school when my mom told me, and I wasn't surprised. I was like, think about me being like a 6-year-old and being like, okay, like I get why this is happening. There would be nights where I would be like, probably like 5 or 6, and it would be like, it would be like 2 or 3 in the morning, and I remember like being in my kitchen, just like bawling my eyes out, wanting my mother so bad, but she was like out, and there was like so many nights of that. It was hard at those times, but that was when my mom and my dad were living in the same house. And then after they got divorced, it was almost like a relief. It was almost like oh shit, like thank God, like holy fuck. The only question I asked her was, are you gonna get remarried? And I don't really remember why I asked her that.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe I asked her that because I was like, that was such a shitty experience we just had.
Yeah.
So you better not go through that again.
And but then also remarriages is tough, because imagine somebody comes in with their kids, and then you come in with you, and you guys come in together, and it's like, hey, you guys have to live together now.
Yeah.
And
I don't want that to seem like my mom's a bad person either.
No.
But it was tough. It was tough for her to be. It's tough. It was tough for her to be in that house, and I understand why it was tough for her to be in that house. But that I remember times, and there were times, and most of my life I would put it down, but there were times where I really needed her.
For example, it was tough for her, but imagine how tough it was for you as a kid.
It was tough. It was tough.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I'm sure it reflects in my real life, because those are moments that make up who you are in the real life. So as I'm taking this journey through life, and as I'm doing this podcast, and as I'm learning more about myself, it's like sometimes I feel like maybe some of those moments reflect my own self-worthiness. Sometimes I feel like I have a chip on my shoulder because I really need to prove my worthiness, because I was just never given it. You know what I mean? Like I've always needed to like fight for that attention. Yeah. That's
unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, I just as I'm I don't know. I need to go to fucking therapy to really like figure this shit out. But
did you ever talk to your both parents about it?
I talked to my mom about it, not in detail. But it's like I don't want to make my mom feel bad. It's hard for me to like bring. You know what I mean? I don't want to make, because that's what it feels like, right? She's like, she feels like she abandoned me. So it's like I don't want to make her feel bad.
You know, this week was an important week for me. Like just going back to what it was. You remember Saturday you heard me talk on the phone. I was talking to my cousin, my sister. Well, I adopted my sister. We haven't talked for 12 years. And she called back my parents just saying, I'm sorry. I left. I missed you guys. I'm trying to come back in your guys' life.
Why did she leave?
She was saying that she was young. And then sometimes she was saying that my parents were putting too much pressure on her because she was the oldest. And then
so how old was she when she left? So she got married.
She
was adopted by your parents.
She was adopted by our parents
in Canada or in
Congo.
Africa?
In Congo, she was adopted by her parents in Congo. So when she was like 14, because her her mom was sick and her dad was abusive to her mom. Used to beat her up. So they're like, we can't let her grow up in that household. So we adopted her. So from 14, she moved with us, and then she got married when she was like 24, almost 24, 24, 25. And then she had trouble because her husband's mother doesn't like her at all. So and because they have way more money than our family, they started looking down on us. And then this is what she says. I guess, adopted the ideology and just cut us off.
So how did you feel when you got that phone call?
Honestly, a stranger.
Well, you probably didn't know her. 12 years is a long time. You were 11.
Yeah.
What do you really remember when you're 11, right?
So it's just like, she's talking to me and she was like, I'm so sorry, Fordy. Like, I love you.
All this guilt that lives within her heart.
And you know why her guilt was coming through? Because her kid, her firstborn kid, she had her at a young age, and we used to hang out. Like my niece, we used to hang out with us. So her daughter would always cry and was like, I miss Auntie Sadiv, Auntie Sadeh. She missed our family a lot because she's close with her dad's family, but she doesn't really feel the same love as she feels with our family.
Because she kind of got bowled away.
Yeah, exactly. And she was.
That's my mom. That's what happened to her. Her dad and her mom split up when she was younger, and she got totally pulled away from that family. And she still has thoughts of that, and like that still is a reoccurring thing within her life of, I never got to see that side of my family. I miss that side of my family. I got pulled away from that side of a part of me.
Which exactly, that's a part of me. So the kid is growing up. She's 14 now. And the question starts asking, why can't I go see them? Why? Give me their number. I want to call them. They're my family. I want to call them. And then she just doesn't have the number. And she's feeling ashamed. So it was like a deep conversation.
Once you see the sadness in a child's eyes, just wanting the love of her family.
Exactly. And she was just like, she's like, 40, I can't, I don't want to talk too deep in it because I don't want to cry in front of my kids. And this is like, I just wanted to know that I love you. You're my brother. And it was just such a weird thing because I looked at her in my back of my mind and I was just like, I don't know you. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't even want to, it was not even a bad sense, but like even hearing her, I didn't even remember her voice. You know, like strange. It was just so strange. And I think she felt it.
How did you feel as you not feeling anything, feeling all of her guilt? Was it overwhelming?
A part of me is angry at her.
True.
Because I'm like, we came together here. You know what I mean? Like, we're not the perfect family, but you know we always loved each other. Like, you know, we always were there for each other. It's like this. It's like you weren't there for us. You're our older sister. Like, I know you have your family. I'm not telling you to be there all the time, but you're even saying happy birthday for you on my birthday. You're like, even though it was my brother's birthday. Like, you literally... You know, it's just like so much. And it's just like, I didn't want to tell her then because I didn't want to make her cry. But it's just like a little bit of like anger towards her. And at the same time, it's just like anger. And also at the same time, it's just like, who are you? Because she was like, I remember she told me, I'm always going to be your oldest sister. And I stayed there and I didn't answer her for like a minute. She's like, hello, you still there? Because then I was just like, you're really not. And you know, and I'm like, you're just my cousin. And that was so like rude of myself, but that's what I was thinking. And I still today, I don't know how I feel. Like my sisters call me back and was like, "For you, how do you feel?" And I don't know how I feel. And I just feel like, I don't know, like I just don't know how I feel about it. Because a part of me should be happy, like, oh, my sister's coming back, but a part of me is like, I don't trust you.
Yeah. There's resentment. There's resentment built in the relationship because there was no communication. And that makes me give my head a shake. Like, I need to make sure I text and contact my people and my family. I don't want to end up as a person who has anger towards them.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You don't want to end up as that person.
And that's what she was telling me. She was like, I had anger towards mom and dad, but I took it the wrong way. And that's what she was telling me. She's like...
And now there's real anger at you for a real reason. And that's what happens. Now you turn in the person. You turn into the evil person that you thought you were you were defending yourself from.
I remember she called and I seen the picture on her WhatsApp. It's her. And I'm like, I'm not picking up the phone. I'm not. I told myself I'm not going to pick her up.
Did you say that out of why did you say that? Why did you feel that way? Were you nervous a little bit?
I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to talk to you about.
See, that's exactly how I feel. But what is that from? That's a tough one, man.
Yeah.
That's one I've been thinking about. That's when someone calls your phone that you know you should be talking to and you don't answer and you don't respond, and I'm guilty for it so much. And you don't respond because you have nothing to talk. What is that? That's something I've been thinking about.
The worst thing, my sisters called me after and like, 40, how'd you feel? Like, I know you were hurt by this. It's like, stop acting cool, because we're all hurt and we don't know how to react.
Did she call everybody?
She called everybody individually. She talked to my dad.
Wow, that must have been a fucking rough night for her.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude.
You know, and my sisters were like, they're more open with their feelings, but like, for you, I know you don't understand how you feel. And sometimes I don't understand how I feel.
Women are so much better.
Yeah.
Women are so much better with their feelings, especially as they get older.
Yeah.
Especially as they get older. But like, women are so much better with being grounded and understanding. Being able to understand. I feel like women go through so much more emotional pain.
Yeah. And I'm there and my sisters are talking to me.
I guess men too, but it's just...
I don't know how to... They're like, for how you feel? I don't know. I can't tell you how I feel. Because I'm lying to you if I tell you I don't feel anything. Because I do feel something. But I don't understand where it's coming from. I'm like... Because it's like...
Yeah.
It's... I don't know. It's like... It's my...
Maybe that's the thing. Maybe it's just like... We as men... We aren't calibrated to do that. And it's like, now we're in a time where it's like everything is flat and what we have to do is communicate, and we have a tough time because we don't even understand how to.
Exactly.
We're never given the path to how to understand,
how to communicate,
communicate and understand our own emotional reaction to the world. And it gets me frustrated, and this is where a lot of my crisis comes from in my life, is like trying to understand why I feel these ways. And it's like we need more. I don't know how. Women are better at it.
Yeah, and that's what my sisters...
I don't know how we can get better at it.
My sisters was like, when they call me, it was like, they tell me, it's like, Fordiet, I know you're hurt. I know you. You're hurt. And what I came to is like, I don't trust her. You know what I mean? It's like, she was telling me all these kind of stuff, but I'm like, I don't trust you.
But it almost seems like primate. It almost seems like lizard. It almost seems like you're the defender of the house.
Exactly.
So when something like that happens, you are not there to nurture. You are there to block the gates off. You're there to defend. And that's where it's like, I feel like that, how much of that is linked within men's thoughts. And now we don't understand how to flip that into being compassionate and understanding.
Yeah.
Because that's way easier for us if we're compassionate and understanding. It's harder for us if we're anger, because that lives within us.
And that's exactly what my sister was telling me. She was like, give her a chance for it. I'm like, well, how'd you know? Like, I'm giving her a chance. Like, you're not. I know you're not giving her a chance. She's like, you have to give her a chance. And I'm just like, I'm like, I don't like. I'm still going back and forth because I'm like, you hurt my family.
Mm-hmm.
You hurt us, and it's still like you say that I don't know why that feeling that I have to protect my family. I have that feeling I have to protect them. I have to protect my sister. I have to protect
that's the
all
only
them.
example you've been given. My dad is not very emotionally intelligent, and I can say that confidently. And it's like, but how can I blame him? Maybe he is one step further than his grandfather was, and his grandfather was an alcoholic, and my dad managed to not be. So that is one step, but he's not. In terms of where I think I stand in the world, he doesn't seem very emotional attention, but maybe that's what it is. I'm that one step further than he is.
Exactly.
And I can't blame him for that. It's hard. It's hard, but my initial thought is I'm angry. I get angry. I do get angry when that's my initial. I don't know how else for me to express it initially, because that's just what comes out.
And I feel like you said, my dad too is not really good at expressing. He doesn't express his emotions. Yeah. He only talks to my mom. Yeah. My mom only knows stuff that he knows, and like
I get angry at my father for not teaching me how to deal with all this stuff that is coming out in anger right now.
Yeah, with me, and because all is coming out to, and all I'm just converting all these emotions. I'm converting to anger. I don't know how to convert it.
And it doesn't go anywhere else. It doesn't go anywhere else because how can you blame your father for trying to teach you those things when he could have been one step further than his father?
Exactly, because his father used to beat the living shit out of him every day. Yeah, you know. Yeah. So it's just like my mom. That's what my mom tried to tell me. It's like, you have to understand, he comes from a long way from what he was 40. You know, and I was just like, and I'm always thinking, I'm like, how am I supposed to understand things? I'm dealing with so much things in this world, and when something does spark to me, it's anger. It's turning into anger. It's like, I don't know how to release it. Now I'm in a situation where my sister, my blood, is trying to come back into my life. She's like, listen, I have my kids. Look, she's giving the phone to her kids. And I'm like, stop. And my head is like, don't do that. You know what I mean? And then like, it's just like all this weight's coming back. And I'm like, I don't know how to get rid of it. Because even if I talk to you,
no, it's the same with me. It builds up. It builds up.
I'm talking to her, and she's like, "How you doing?" I'm like, "Good." How's everything? Good. Like, I'm not saying anything else.
And that's what I'm thinking. That's when I think about my uncle, who I haven't talked to in a fucking year and a half. It's like I get anxiety thinking about the conversation, thinking about what do I even say to her? Like, how do I express myself? I don't know. I don't know. I need to learn. So that's why I think I need to go fucking therapy. But it's like, I think all men need to learn. I don't know. And it makes me anxious thinking about moments that I do have to express myself.
Exactly, because my parents my sisters told me, like, Fordiet, she's gonna come back to see us, visit us, and we're all gonna have a deep conversation, and you're gonna have to be honest with her, because this things needs to be honest out so we can move forward. Because we're not gonna move forward if you have all these things. But I'm thinking about this, and it's making me anxious because I don't know what to say. I don't want to say
because you don't know what to do, and then it's just like going to a test that you haven't prepared for. You get anxious as fuck. Yeah, you know you're ready to fail. Like, that's what it is, and it feels like that's the feeling that it goes into when I don't know how to express myself. I feel like I'm gonna explode every time I feel like I'm gonna express myself. It's like, what is that? And it's just were we never taught? I don't think we were taught. I don't think it's hard because, like we said earlier in the podcast, it's like the moms, they can't do it. Once you start past a certain age, they don't understand. And you can't blame them for not understanding. Exactly. And I guess even your father can't understand. And maybe this is just everything. Maybe this is just something everybody goes through in life at a certain point, and you just get over it. And maybe my dad went through it 30 years ago. Maybe he was angry that his father was an alcoholic. And he was angry that his father was an alcoholic, but his father didn't know any better. Exactly. And that anger,
because probably his father's father didn't teach him anything better.
And that anger led him nowhere. That anger led him to repress those emotions.
Isn't it funny that a lot of the troubles that we see in our family are passed down?
Oh yeah.
It's not even like are passed down from generation to generations. I don't think people realize how deep these issues come from.
It's a skipping stone. How can you not? You have to understand that, right? Like every single skip is from the past. The velocity of the past skip is intercourse is managing your velocity when you skip over the water.
And then when I was talking to her, she said, and this is what was she was like, for her to talk to me. I'm your sister. It's like, when I was a kid, I was wiping, I was there, I was babysitting you all the time. And she was like, my dad used to be with my mom. I don't know how it feels to have a family. I don't know. My mom was sick when I was young. I never had a family. It's like, all my parents, all I know my parents are your parents. And it's like, if you're not, it's like, understand me. Like, she's basically telling me I've never been taught. When I'm angry, when I was angry, because seeing her dad beat up her mom, she sees these things and she just hold it in. Hold it in. So when she has an issue, she holds it in and runs away. So then she's like, I'm literally doing the best I can for it. It's like, and
that's what we just need to do.
Exactly.
And that's just and then it takes a while, but I guess we just, as people, need to understand that we need to recognize when someone is trying the best they can.
And it's not always gonna be easy. It's not gonna come in overnight.
No, shit's hard, man. Life is so fucking hard, dude. Life is so hard.
And now I'm thinking about, like, already this was a big moment in my life.
It's fantastic, but it's hard.
It's hard. Now imagine a guy that his dad just comes into his life after like 12 years.
Yeah.
How will he feel?
Yeah.
That must be emotions times 50. So then it just makes me think, I'm like, man, some people have it way worse. And how do they
will have it so much worse.
So much worse, you know? And it's just like, now I'm thinking about all the Tupac lyrics when he's talking about his dad not being there and all these kind of stuff. And I'm like, I can't relate 100%, but I can relate just a tiny bit, just having somebody so important in your life to come back into your life and just say, hey, I'm back. You know, out of nowhere.
And I just feel like, you know, a lot of our generation is just fighting for attention because we didn't get it from parents growing up. Whether you lived in like a low income community and your mom had to work multiple jobs and you never, or you lived in a rich community and you had a nanny growing up, like, and you never saw your mom. You saw your mom once a week. It's like we live in and we're just all craving this attention, even myself. And it's like, it's strange to think about, and it's strange to feel it through, because I don't know who's got the answers, but I'm trying to figure out how to just get it out of me.
You said the best, exactly. How can I get out of me? We have all these emotions in us. How do I get it off and move forward from there? And this is what the conversation I was talking about. Like, now I understand the really points of forgiving people. And I hear all the time forgiving. Well, I never understood that when I was young, but now I understand what it says. Forgiving is not about, it's more about yourself. Deciding to move forward in life.
It's all about yourself.
Because it's like these emotions stay there, and then it fumes you with anger, and some reason you just pop off. You just pop off. You don't understand why you're popping off, but it just fumes there.
It lives within you. It lives within you. It's like a demon. We talk about like that shit. I don't believe in getting possessed or anything, but like that, if you want a literal analogy for what that would be a demon. There's a demon inside your head that you need to figure out how to get it out of you from whatever is. It's like PTSD. It's like you go to war and you see your friend's legs get blown off. That just keeps reoccurring. That is a demon. I don't know what that is, PTSD, but that when you have flashbacks of that, when that happens, when you have these feelings of anxiety, these traumatic, it's an extreme example, but it's a very real example. That's something that's living with inside of you that you need to get out.
And do you just us
I
having
don't
this-
know if PTSD you can. I don't know. Like
You
that
people
shit's crazy. Like can you imagine going to war? Like I don't know. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck. I don't know if you can get
probably
that
have
shit
some
out of
fuck
you.
shit over there.
I don't know if you
Like-
just smoke weed for the rest. I respect to anybody who's been in any kind of war situation except for any terrorists.
And yeah, we did put that. And like all the stuff you're talking about, like emotional intelligence,
Mm-hmm.
it's so deep and so vast
Mm-hmm.
that the thing is that I feel bad for the people that don't even have the chance to have a conversation with people
Mm-hmm.
about that. People don't even think about living day in day, and everybody's hurt somewhere in their life,
Mm-hmm.
and not having those tools to understand why am I hurt.
Mm-hmm. And look how it comes out. You were just talking about a young woman who you had issues with, who you were literally driving a car with them in it, and she punched you in the face as you were driving 3 times. Like, think about how many issues she has. She has so much built up that, and you feel bad for her because the only way she knows how to let this out is by
to fight,
physically punch you in the face. And that's the only way that that feeling can get out of her, that she feels like she can have whatever that comes with.
It comes, and I pinpoint because I never understood why, because she comes from a lovely family. Her parents she's the youngest, showed her attention. It comes from not feeling being bullied as a young kid, not having the career she wanted.
It comes from insecurity.
Insecurity.
You
and
need
just,
power. You need power. Bullies bully because they feel insecure.
Mm-hmm.
Bullies bully because they need power in a situation. The most secure people will be the most quiet,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like a monk. A monk doesn't need a Ferrari,
Mm-hmm.
but like an insecure person needs a Ferrari
Mm-hmm.
because it fills something outside of them.
Mm-hmm.
But a secure person doesn't need to physically hit anyone to let their power be felt.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Dave Chappelle on the stage.
Mm-hmm.
You know he's a great comedian because he holds his silence. He'll hold the silence and he'll command that attention. He'll get that power. He'll get that power. He doesn't have to physically harass anyone.
Yeah.
He'll command that power though. And these are different
great analogy.
These are different ways that people find power in life. These are different ways that people deal with emotional reactions. Dave Chappelle, I'm sure, felt like he needed to be more. And then he became who he was through hard work and not feeling like he was good enough.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what got him to there. And that's what she's feeling. She's feeling not good enough, so she has to hit you. And these are 2 different paths.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just knowing. And Dave Chappelle probably had good mentors growing up.
Oh, yeah. He always talks about it.
Say, this is where you put your energy. Instead of hitting someone, write a joke about it.
Exactly. He does talk about that a lot. That he was saying how comedy saved his life. Comedy was a way for him to express himself every single time. And it's crazy, like you said, that great analogy with him commanding when I listen to Dave Chappelle's kid, it's just like, it's like, not like, I listen to a lot of comedians, but it's not like your average comedian that the average comedians, I feel like, are the loudest or the first to joke, but sometimes you would just stay quiet.
No, it's power. It's like Barack Obama. He'll look into you. He'll look into your heart. He'll look into your heart for a few seconds. And he commands it.
Yeah.
That's the power. And that's what Hitler did. Quiet. Commanded it. They used it for different reasons, obviously, but that's how they commanded the power.
It's crazy.
And different people do different... get Hitler out of the fucking story. But different people have different outlets, and we're just not taught. That's why people do heroin.
Yeah.
That's why people do heroin.
Mm-hmm.
That's why people... But taking over the world was Hitler's heroin.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion,
and
right?
Killing mass people.
Yeah. What's your heroin? It's like everybody has...
But he was super insecure though. Hitler?
Exactly. But that's why he amassed that power.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think.
No, that's this whole. As I'm growing older and as I'm not trying to understand myself, I'm trying to understand that there's these things. It's really important to understand, to try to learn and talk to people about these things.
It's so important, especially because we need to look at ourselves with a fucking mirror, because what did we say earlier in the podcast? Like, reoccurring narratives within our life. It's always, I didn't even realize I was in this position.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because people don't look at themselves. People don't constantly reanalyze their life, honestly.
And that's funny because the same line that you just said,
Yeah.
the girl that was telling you that she's in an abusive relationship, she said the same thing. It's like, I didn't even realize what was going on until I woke up, just blood in my face.
Fucked.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And the sad thing about her, she refuses to look on herself. Mm-hmm. She paints, he's a good guy. Mm-hmm. He can be a good guy. Let me paint that up. It was my fault. I screamed too hard. Mm-hmm. You know, and all these girls that I know that are in this situation, they always do the same thing. They don't want to look at the picture. I'm like, look what he did to you. He will repeat it again. He's insecure. I don't know what he's doing. He's throwing that anger towards you, and it's going to get worse and worse. But they want to paint the thing. And sometimes, and that's the issue, because people are afraid. Like you said last time, we are afraid of what we're going to see in that mirror. Mm-hmm. And we are afraid of what we can become. You remember you said that? Well, that's what Killer Mike said. Killer Mike said, we're afraid because we all have this sense in us. Like, there are a lot of stupid people, but not a lot of people are stupid. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, people get it. Mm-hmm. And people, I feel a responsibility. People feel natural responsibility. And once you realize how good you can be, that responsibility that comes with that is scary.
Exactly.
It's scary to be in that position, so you choose not to be because it's much easier.
That was my life, and for the past 4 years in university, I chose, like I told you, I would purposely make sure I don't study, just like with my friends, to have bad marks so I can fit in. Mm-hmm. I refuse, because I don't understand why I was afraid of. I was afraid of myself. Mm-hmm. It's so weird when you think about it. I'm like, I was afraid to having the good marks. I'm afraid to do this. I'm like, no, I have to dummy myself. I have to be regular. I have to be normal. I have to be like, and I don't understand why was I thinking that, but it was a constant fear. Mm-hmm. And I'm fearing myself. And there was times where I remember, like, I was really gaining a lot of weight, right? Mm-hmm. I was really gaining a lot of weight. I didn't want to look at myself in the mirror. I'm like, I'm not going to look at myself in the mirror. I'm just going to continue my lifestyle, my party lifestyle. I'm not going to look at myself in the mirror. I'm not going to look this. And I refused to do that all the time. I did not want to look at myself in the mirror. Mm-hmm. And it was just like, I was like destroying myself. I'm literally destroying myself. And I don't know why I'm doing it. I can't, if you tell me today, I'm like, I don't know why I was doing that. Why? But like, when you say that, when like Killer Mike, it makes sense now. Because I was fear of what I know what I can become and the responsibility I should have.
And you also fear that because us as people, we get into positions in our lives where we do make mistakes. Mm-hmm. And we fall into bad habits that we don't realize we're in. Mm-hmm. And we are scared to look at ourselves in an actual light and be embarrassed about where we have come. Mm-hmm. And it's like overcoming that little hump of just self-shame is so important to just becoming a better person.
Yo, this episode is so freeing.
Yeah, it's freeing.
Because like what you just said is exactly what my sister said. She's like, I had so much shame, I couldn't even do it. Mm-hmm. She was like, for you to understand, I had so much shame, I refused to do it. It's like this. Now I'm like, I don't care anymore. That's
why people kill themselves. That's really my thing. It's self-shame. And you really need to make sure if you feel self-shame in your life that you don't. You need to work on that. That's very important, I think, in life. Because that shit can...
But how come we don't...
That shit can get fucked.
We don't, like... And these are the things that I wish, like just what we just said, like you just said, we need to be said to kids in high school. Because we don't say that to kids. Like, we'll just say mental health. But what does it really mean, mental health? Like, everybody can say mental health, but what does it really mean? What does it mean in life? Because they were saying that in high school, mental health. I don't understand what the flip mental health means. Mental health. Okay, my brain's working fine. I'm moving my hands. I'm healthy. No, but there's a lot. But when you're in a situation like that, self-shame, you're going to have times. And you said, everybody's going to have times where we're going to slip in bad habits. You know? And we have to be careful not to be too hard on ourselves. Because that's how we're going to kill ourselves.
Exactly. Or you just find something that you find other ways to cope with it. You find a way to fill that hole.
Hey, man.
Yeah, that was good, bro. I appreciate that.
That was a freeing podcast, man.
Do you want to do some news?
Oh, yeah. Let's end up with it.
It'll be a nice and long podcast. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah. That felt good. It's interesting to hear about your sister, though.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, that's like a new chapter for your family. Chapter 8. You know what I mean? Introduction of a new character.
Yeah, because we kind of wrote it off. Yeah, she wasn't in the picture. There was nothing, anything like that.
The plot twists, 40.
Nobody even mentioned her name. I would even tell you, like I would say, I was, but I would not. I would just briefly mention her, and now she's like, I want to come back, and just like
strange. There's always people in your life that'll do that. You'll find people, but they're not usually that close to you. You know what I mean? Your sister. But I really need to call my family. Fuck me.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story.
We choose to go to the moon.
This is a momentous day for the United States and for the world.
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
That always makes me laugh.
You know, it's a good day to be that guy today.
Oh yeah.
It's a good day to be fucking Donald Trump, boys. It's a good day to be fucking Donald Trump. So Mueller report summary delivered to Congress. So there was suggestion of no further indictments. And there was like 30 indictments prior to this whole Trump-Russia thing. So there was no conclusion apparently on the federal level. However, I was hearing something that state jurisdictions, this gets really confusing, but state jurisdictions can prosecute him for crimes committed within state property, within state. So New York, if there's a fraud case that happened within some real estate, something, they can still charge him, or Florida or wherever. But federally, he did not collude with Russia. And I repeat, he did not collude with Russia. And on every single day for the past 2 years, it's been CNN saying he colluded with Russia. Think about that. Think about what they do to people's emotions. Think about what the fuck. You want to talk about an emotionally manipulative relationship? People have that with the media.
I think, in my viewpoint, I think that I already knew he didn't collude with Russia. Yeah. I always do that.
We knew that.
But I do know that he is doing, his Trump organization did a lot of financial crimes, financial fraud. That, I agree with that 100%. On the state level, they have their cases. But the Russia stuff, I was like, yo, stop.
But what's unfortunate about those crimes is they usually don't get charged with much. You know what I mean? It's a white-collar crime. You pay a fine. You pay a lawsuit, right? Like
really?
just like what he did with he settled on his university. His university was bogus, the Trump university, and he paid $15 million out. And everything was settled. And that was fraud.
Wow.
Yeah, it's usually...
man just started a university like that, and then it was...
only poor people go in cells, usually. You know, that's my thought, you know what I mean? Like, it's... You don't see many rich motherfuckers in cells, dude. They just go for the wallet. But it's crazy. They're still going to go through it. It's not totally completed. What's up? You got some McDicks, bro?
Hey.
Shout out to that Uber Eats.
Yeah.
But it's not totally finished yet. He handed it to the district attorney or the DA or whatever that is, and then they're gonna read through it, and then it'll be summarized to the people. But I feel like I want to read it myself. I want to feel like I want to take time, because think about this. Think about the fucking history, bro. Like, that's history.
Yeah. That was a long time.
2 years.
Well, we could have focused on a lot of stuff that was more important.
You're probably right. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, definitely. And then it makes me think, it's like, do we need to put our tinfoil hats on? And
Flint, Michigan still don't have clean water.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, I'm like, guys, like, yo.
Do we need to put on our tinfoil hats and say that they're distracting us from something?
Yeah. I'm like,
why do I always feel forced to be Alex Jones?
Oh, gosh.
Like, every
The
single
new version
time.
of
No, every single time I feel forced to be Alex Jones.
Oh, shit.
And it frustrates me. I wish I had a clip. I was so ready to play a fucking clip, Alex Jones. Anyways, the next one. Russian Air Force planes land in Venezuela carrying troops. 2 Russian Air Force planes landed at Venezuela's main airport on Saturday carrying Russian defense official and nearly 100 troops. This port reports amid strengthening ties between Caracas and Moscow. So Caracas is Venezuela?
Yeah, Venezuela. Can I say something?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Guys, let's get off Venezuela. It doesn't have to escalate this far. Maduro is doing a terrible job in office in terms of economy. Okay, that's Maduro. Is
he doing an awesome job?
No.
What'd you just say?
No, I said he's doing a terrible job in
Okay,
office.
yeah.
But he's doing a terrible stuff, but it doesn't mean that we have to come in and force regime. Countries should not force regime changes of other countries. It always ends bad.
He has ties. He's the political party in Venezuela that has ties to Russia and China, right?
You know what's going on? A lot of the...
But sorry. So they're allowed to land Russian planes, military planes, but the U.S. was not allowed to bring in food.
Yeah.
So there's an allegiance. It's Russia.
Yeah, and the reason why...
So that just got 10 times deeper.
It got 10 times deeper because a lot of when they went to a financial crisis, they loaned a lot of money to China and Russia. So China and Russia are like, if this guy comes in from the United States, he's not going to pay us back our money. He's going to rid them off, and then that's it. So they're saying, we're not going to budge on this. It's like, we're gonna defend this guy till the end because he's gonna have to pay back their money, and he's paying back their money through oil, right? He's paying money through oil, and right now people need oil. People know, like you said, because China is still constructing. India is still
India. Billions of people are gonna need chainsaws. Billions of people are going to need plate packers. Billions of people are going to need huge engines.
And Venezuela, the largest reserve of oil in the world.
Yeah.
Think about that.
So it's gonna get pretty crazy soon, I'm sure.
But
maybe Trump. This adds to the theory of maybe Trump's the good guy in the end. Maybe Trump didn't collude with Russia, and Trump knew what was going on with the deep state of the U.S., and he knew that this was happening. He said, I want to be friends with Russia because we can't go to war in Venezuela right now.
But yeah, the thing is like,
I don't know.
But one thing I will say about...
It's sketchy.
No, the one thing I will say about Trump is that you're seeing that he's not totally in power. Because he says things, because when he is a campaign...
He's not totally in power.
Yeah, he's
definitely not.
He said he's just the face of it.
What the fuck does he know about Israel? Nothing. He probably knows as much as I do. You know what I mean? He's making these decisions.
I think you know who knows a lot? John Bolton, Mike Pence. Those are the guys. Mike Pompeo,
Jared Kushner. But they have ties. They have biased opinions.
Yeah, and then
on situations that they have power in.
Because, for example, in his Trump campaign, Donald Trump was like, we need to have a closer relationship with Russia because nobody's trying to go to war. And it's facts. Like, have a closer. We don't have to like each other, but let's have civil relationships because nobody.
And now that there's no collusion and we see no collusion, then the relationship that seems honest. That seems like an honest effort by Trump to be okay. You know what I mean? To be nice with them. Now it does because he wasn't colluding, right? He wasn't trying to cover up a relationship.
Yeah,
he was honestly trying to have some sort of. Maybe.
But the thing is, you see the difference between Donald Trump campaign and Donald Trump in power. Because when you're in power, you realize there's a lot of interest.
Exactly. But that's what people say about Barack Obama, right? A lot of people say, you look at the Barack Obama campaign compared to how he was in power. There's a lot of stuff that goes on, that there's levers that need to be pulled by other characters within positions. That
Joe Rogan said the funniest thing is like, you know what they do every time a president's elect? They bring him in the Oval Office. They show him a picture of John Kennedy getting shot in the head, and they just close the laptop. And then I was like, yo, Joe Rogan is hilarious. You know what I mean? And that just sends you the message that, hey, like, you know what I mean?
Just like a slideshow, like they're going through the introduction, and they're like, "Oh, sorry,
that wasn't supposed to be there. Never mind." But it did happen, but it's not supposed to be there.
Yeah, the fucking next one's fucking Martin Luther King. Oh no, sorry, that one too. Sorry, next one, bro.
You know, so it's just like,
that's hilarious.
Because this whole situation, like for example, Donald Trump said, "Let's get out of Syria." He said, "We're taking all the troops out of Syria." Then he comes back, it's like, "Oh no, we're actually staying."
And then he says, we defeated ISIS like 4 months ago. And then I see a headline like 2 days ago, like, we defeated ISIS. And then I wake up thinking I'm crazy, thinking I'm having dreams that it's said, but it's not. It's just happening again and again. And he says the same thing twice. And I think I'm going crazy, but it's really the motherfucking world's going crazy.
Exactly. So I think right now the world needs just to calm down and not hide these things. Sorry, go ahead.
It's interesting, but that's a major plot twist, that there was no collusion so far by Robert Mueller from what he says. But what could be, maybe they don't want to impeach him based off something that they don't think is strong enough to impeach him, because then they might think, these deep state people, that the political outrage of people in the streets, the division that will come from that, will be worse.
No, that's not.
Because but think about it, because Hillary Clinton did some fucked up shit. If you go look at Hillary Clinton, there's gonna be some fucked up shit in there.
Yeah. So
you can't justify it.
Exactly. That's why I think that on these things, just stay. I'm in a part of just like, listen,
because if Trump got impeached for this, then they'd be like, you need to go look at Hillary Clinton. You need to go look at all and that needs to happen.
Exactly. And I think that we need to understand that. But
think about the outrage. If Trump got impeached for fraud somewhere, let's just say he frauded like some taxes somewhere. Think about the outrage. Think about the comments. The comments would only be, oh, he was a smart businessman, avoiding taxes, going through loopholes. He was just being a smart. But that's literally what it would be.
Yeah.
Of 60 million people. So that would be a real thought. So, and all of a sudden, they would feel like they just got power. Now they really feel like the game is rigged against them. And I don't know if you want to push people into that position in a powerful country like the U.S.
I think it's important for the people to go out and vote.
Yeah, definitely.
Next section. Go out and vote. And
I don't want to doubt him winning, but I doubt he wins.
Yeah, and let's stop this warmongering. Please.
Yeah, literally.
Nobody wants to go to World War. Look at Russia. They're fucking ready to go to war. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. They're ready to go to war.
They're ready, bro.
They're ready. Let's not play games.
Bro, they've been ready.
Yeah. I'm like,
there's not one morning when a Russian doesn't wake up and think about fucking fighter jets, dude. They're ready. Like, they have war in their blood.
Like, I say it again, guys, everybody just calm down. It doesn't have to be this or this way. There's a path in the middle. How about there's a path in the middle and we don't have to go to war? Please.
Respect.
If somebody's listening to this and somebody's in power, nobody wants to go to war.
I'm definitely not going to war, dude. Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing. If I'm gonna
imagine they draft you and you have to go.
I'm gonna get in a pedal biking accident. I'm gonna hit a curb one day. You get drafted,
or you have to go to jail.
Bro, I'll break my finger. Dude, I don't care. Like,
Muhammad Ali went to jail. I was like, sure, I'd rather go to jail. He said that. I'd rather go to jail.
Let's go, bro. Yeah. Like, let's go. I'll get detained for a couple hours.
Muhammad Ali killed me. He's like, yeah, I'm going to jail. Like, he wasn't scared. He was like, I'd rather go. I'm not going to war. He's like,
I ain't going to war, dude.
They're gonna put me on the front line. I'm gonna go fight a Vietnam. He's like, what the hell did he? He's like, he didn't do anything to me. Like, I don't know. Like, he was just.
How many people in our generation will go to war?
I would not go to war.
Yeah, how many of us are going to war?
I'm locking myself in my room. I'm like, hell no. You ain't coming. Is Fordiet home? No, he's not home.
Yeah, good luck rounding us all up. If we just chill, if we all just chilled, they wouldn't be able to do shit.
Yeah. Or I'll go hide in the bushes.
Yeah.
Or like Alaska. Oh, no, I'll go hide in Alaska. Alaska bush people.
No, I think it'd be smart, bro. When I get rich,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to buy 200 acres of land somewhere in northern Ontario.
Mm-hmm.
Just in case if anything goes down, I'm going to know how to build a log cabin, and I'm going to learn how to live off the land.
You're gonna be a bunker.
I will have 200 acres of land ready if any sort
don't play with Evan,
any
bro.
sort
He's
of
ready.
impact
You're
or
strapped
explosion
up,
goes
bro.
on. I want to be ready.
Yeah.
I think it's very real.
Get
to
off
me.
my land. Evan's coming with a snipe down. Hey, mug, get off my land. I'm not going to war.
Like, nah, it's a good investment too.
Yeah, it's good.
But honestly, that's what I think about.
No, I feel like,
Because I'm not going to war.
please, everybody, just don't go to war. Peace, guys. Peace.
But realistically, we're fucked if Russia wants to take us over. What would be an analogy of Russia and us? It would be like Shaquille O'Neal having sex with his wife. That would be like Russia and us.
And she's like 5'2".
Yeah, she's like 5'2".
And he's like 7'1".
And he's like 8'4". This guy's like,
and he's 360 pounds.
And I heard 45 of that is his wiener.
Yo, what the
Yeah, that's what I heard, bro.
Yo, man.
We own these streets. We're entertainers, dude.
Oh man, anything
We're
else?
stars, bro. No, I got nothing else.
Oh man,
That was a really good podcast. I really appreciate that.
one thing I know is don't mess with Evan, man. He's getting that end of Laker. Don't mess with his land, bro.
Mm-hmm. One day I'll let you know.
Is that the picture
I'll let
ready?
you know.
You're already planning things out, huh?
Yeah, probably.
The pink ring got a nigga feeling bossy. Spit it through the wire, that's flossy. The dog costs. Gotta get it, it's critical. Fuck a critic. Approach it so analytical. Sinning like fuck a cynic. My nigga, we heavy on the grind. Burdens like boulders and sitting so heavy on my mind. Curdle my shoulders from sitting so heavy under shine. Take them chains off, take the pain off. Let them levees break. Let's piss Wayne off with the flow. Got a chainsaw for the tree and champagne flutes for the toast. It's a celebration. We no strangers to degradation. Whatever you do, partake in the answer is elevation. Don't get too high. People too dependent on luck. Get your house in order. We like two men in a truck. It's a movement. Gotta keep it strategic. Gotta push the margins. Keep your paper collegiate. Free nation for life. I took a pledge of allegiance. Gotta look out for snakes. It's like the Garden of Eden in my city, fam. Pretty lambs get played like pity pat. Your hand look pretty whack if you ain't jacking all trades. They paid you out the back like ball fades. Your dog days be done. But to the fleas, eat my knees. I'll be running with you. Breaking bread with my peoples cause I want it with you. Nigga, you see the trees. My nigga, you see the leaves. Well, homie, I see the roots. I'm only speaking the truth. And they ain't that. And they ain't that shit, my G. My nigga, you see the trees. My nigga, you see the leaves. Well, homie, I see the roots. I'm only speaking the truth. And they ain't that. And they ain't that shit, my G. Youngin', been on this briggedy grind since 9-5. Skateboarding home from school cause moms work 9 to 5 and pops 10:57. That's cold for missing persons, that's cold, but no one's perfect. I fold the bigger person, we cool. They lift the curtains just to see a young black Mac, blackjack and age on the track, stacking pages of that knowledge that they don't acknowledge. That's riggedy whack jack like Affleck. I'm screaming at you while you niggas ducking out the way. Probably cause you ducking through your days, dodging bullets from your dogs just to run into some strays. Cause them Ben Frankie Beverly's got you running through a maze. In the days where these little niggas kill for the hell of it. Always down to ride for the little shit they peddling. Hit a gun stutter like an ill speech impediment. Bet the verbs, get your bitch the chills. Chill, peep the rhetoric, bet them curves. Have us rolling round, chill, peep the medicine. That's exactly what they came for. Ginger ale and marijuana. Nice conversation, sipping Zinfandel from Carolina. Everything is thrifted, planking pin the tail on my designer. It's 98, chill shit from Montreal niggas. 98, on my back I'm in this hill. Figure sealed liquor off in my truck. I'm with the homies, want no coppers. Catch me slipping on my pimpin', I'm too ill, nigga. All you suckers just some lil niggas. This rap shit just an amalgamation of a Southside nigga. 91st, 79, 63rd. Fuck with me, famo.